Yo, yo, yo,
Here
welcome.
we are, Baruch atah Adonai.
What does that actually mean?
Something about God and blessings and things that I'm not entitled to in my life. Standard stuff.
Aren't you a Jew? Aren't you supposed to know that? Isn't that like a rite of passage? You're supposed to know a couple of things. Like, I have to know the Hail Mary.
Look, I say it like a parrot. I have no idea what's happening. I just wait for money to show up.
So if I say, like, Assalamu alaikum
I think
instead
that's
of
worse for your side than my side.
Assalamu alaikum, is that it? Is
We're
it?
much more inclusive than your righty kind of world.
I just sort of mock your saying because it's funny. Assalamu alaikum.
Shocking! You got a right-leaning person using
Ask your mom
anti-Semitic
an
humor.
alaikum.
So
Ask your
weird.
mom an alaikum.
Okay, can we start already? It's enough with your jokes. Okay, please
I have to deal with you every
leave
single
them
day.
for anybody else who might be funny. All right, go ahead. What are we doing today? Separation of church and state is what we're doing.
Yes.
Another day, another podcast, another uncontroversial subject.
Okay.
All right. Well, who are you, by the way?
Who am
For those people who don't know, maybe people don't know who you are.
Oh, am I going to tell my real name?
Please don't. I mean, there's probably creditors watching right now.
And Russian mafia. Okay, so my real name is Elizabeth, but I go by Mother Flocker, and I am a proud mother of 4 amazing, wonderful, fantastic children.
We don't need a whole biography. You're
Yes, we
Elizabeth.
do.
You're a Jesus freak. My name's Dan. I'm a Jew. We are good friends and we argue. That's what we
feel
do.
like I need people to understand that I am a credible human being. I have had 4 children, so I know everything. I'm like the closest thing to Jesus at this point. Let's be
Well,
clear.
since they're not going to believe that once you start talking, it's probably good that you set that up at the beginning.
Should I stand up and show them how fabulous my body is?
Please don't. Please don't, for all of our sakes. Okay, separation of church and state. Yep. So you guys, the red states have won another one.
3-0.
Yes, and the Supreme Court issued a ruling on the Kennedy case. It was a shocking and disgusting and horrific ruling and opinion. There was a high school football coach who would have a prayer at the end of every game on the public high school football field with all the players.
Yep.
And the school board told him to stop because it's a violation of the Establishment Clause, the Free Exercise Clause, and yet he kept doing it, so they fired him. Went to the Supreme Court, and the ruling was unbelievably, impossibly that it was okay. It was an exercise of his First Amendment rights. Gorsuch said that it was a private expression of prayer, even though he had the whole goddamn school around him. And here we are, slowly tiptoeing our way into a Taliban state, which is very exciting for everyone.
Or we're returning this country back to what it was founded on.
A separation of church and state? Yes.
Faith.
Yeah, separation of church and state. Wanted to get away from the Church of England, and now we're just going right back. Okay, so what's your feelings on it? What do you believe?
I love it. And I absolutely love it. I love it. Okay. Listen, technically the ruling, like, they couldn't prove it was coercive. So, like, if that kid it was about one kid who didn't want to participate and his parent complained. So all he would have had to do is walk up to the coach and after things be like, "Hey, coach, listen, I don't really believe in God, and I'd like to be able to walk away from the prayer." And I'm pretty certain the coach would have said, "I completely understand, son. No problem."
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. And you're absolutely right. He for sure would have said, "Go ahead and walk away." But how would that kid truly have felt being excluded from a group that includes almost all of his teammates? And what are the coach's real feelings on the inside about a kid who doesn't participate? Do you honestly think that there'd be absolutely no adverse consequence for that kid between his relationship with the coach, his relationship with his teammates, his relationship with the school? People see him walking away. You think nothing. There's no problem with that at all.
So a true believer, someone who really believes in God and is actually a true Christian, not just
Which God? Your God?
A Christian. Yeah, I'm Christian.
Okay,
I believe in my God.
Okay.
I can't imagine there's like a lot of gods in heaven or wherever your God hangs out that are like vying for power, because that seems like
knows who's right,
power struggle.
Look, there's a billion.
Listen, at the end of the day, we can talk about this on another thing, but like, I believe in God, but I also believe that there's something greater outside of us that exists that's helping to control the whole life force. Like how is how are planets floating in space? Like, how did Earth come about? Like, I mean, you really want to go down this rabbit hole and all these things. Right.
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Rolling your eyes at science. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm not rolling my eyes at science. I think that everything is energy. And so that is scientific. But I also understand that people possess certain like spiritual gifts that also align with science. And so like we can go down that road another time. I'm very like open, broad thinker, but point being, a true Christian,
yes,
especially someone who's a coach who is leading a team, would not judge him. In fact, he probably would have a little empathy in his heart, and he'd probably go home and pray for him because he would hope that he would find God.
What about his teammates?
Well, if his teammates are voluntarily sitting there praying, then they have God in their heart too, and they would probably go home and pray for him.
Maybe they're just trying to impress the coach. Maybe they see the coach doing something, they want a better chance of starting. Maybe I'm the second quarterback, the second Jew quarterback on the team, and I feel like if I don't participate with the rest of my team, I'm not going to get as good of a chance. So now you've interfered with my free exercise of my religion, right? Because I can't go and can I do the Shema? Can I do a Baruch Atah Adonai out there? Nobody's going to be there with me. They're praying to your God. That's not my God.
Okay, pause. So I'm the type of woman, right? So my kids all play sports.
Yes.
My kids also happen to go to religious schools, like primary, and my one son is going to a Jesuit school, which is a faith-based school. But my two older kids went to a public high school, and I've always been asked, as you know, like a very active mom on sports teams and stuff, to lead the prayer before they play, before they tip off.
So you're at a private religious school.
Oh, no. There's at their sporting events at school, they actually have where the team comes together and a priest will come in, or whomever the coaches or the or the athletic
so no director. Rabbi, right?
Well, it's at a Catholic school. It's Catholic school.
Okay, but
so my younger
so religious school's great. You should do it. Yeah.
Well, no. So pause. My younger kids go to Catholic school, so they lead the prayer. In my kids' outside leagues, so they play in travel leagues and they play in rec leagues.
Private, nothing to do with the government. It's great.
No.
Government action.
Pause. These are like sports leagues that have thousands of kids in them.
Right, but they're private.
Right, but everybody that comes to play,
but that's fine.
It's not a religious league. So
but that doesn't matter. But we don't care if it's a private club or organization. Doesn't matter. We're talking about the state. We're talking about government here. We're not talking about what you do in your personal life. Personal life, you get to pray to Jesus Christ all you want.
If a public school coach wants to pray and he says, "Hey, I'm going to pray," and people line up and they participate, chances are they believe in God. Or they believe in something.
Right, but the whole point is, what about the people who don't?
If he doesn't, then he should talk to the coach on the side. And the coach, if he's a good coach and he's a good human and he's a Christian like says he is, he's going to be like, all right, cool, man, I totally get it. Like,
but what if he doesn't?
What can I do to help you?
What if he's not a good Christian? What if he's just trying to impress the principal who he knows is evangelical? He really doesn't have Jesus in his heart. And what about his teammates who might feel like intimidated and they have to
I'm going to tell you this right now. A true believer is not going to fake pray. Like, that just doesn't happen.
But you don't know who's a true believer. That's the whole point of not.
Well, listen, I guess his actions post that prayer will set a tone for if he's a true Christian or he's a leader, or if he's just faking it till he makes it. And eventually that's going to catch up to him. So because he prayed on the field, those kids have a choice. They always have a choice.
What if a Muslim goes in and wants to pray to Mecca or whoever it is they pray to, the prophet? I don't know what they do. I don't want to offend any Muslims. What if a Muslim goes out and prays at the end of a game? How's that?
I think what it comes down to is, at the end of the day, our country was established with God and Christian beliefs. Yeah, but
free
when
exercise of religion.
But pause. Before all that came into play, the people that were here believed in God.
They wanted to get away from the Church of England.
I understand that, but Dan, you have to realize, like, other countries, like your family's from Israel, correct?
My dad is from Israel, yes.
You're Jewish. Okay.
Last I checked.
But
I can show you. I can prove
90% of the population Jewish? Is like 50%? Is 120% of the population Jewish? Like,
well, Israel was actually founded on being a Jewish state. That's the reason Israel exists. America is founded for the opposite reasons. They didn't want to be a part of the Church of England. The First Amendment, right? The Bill of Rights. We know about the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment says that Congress will not pass a law respecting the establishment of religion, and you have the free exercise of religion, meaning the government will favor religion and you can worship whatever you want. If I am a football player in a public high school and there is a true believing Christian coach who runs a prayer after the game and I don't want to be involved, I feel like that is doing a disservice to me. Period. And I would never let a rabbi go in and do a Jewish prayer because I'd feel the same way. Like, what if you're not Jewish? You don't have to.
Okay. So then this is just a conversation. This is a child. The student walks up to the coach after. It has a private conversation, right? This is his coach. He's in high school. He's a big boy. He has a mouth. He can use it. Can he articulate his feelings? Can he have a conversation like a grown-up? He's about to be in the world when he turns 18. We're expected these kids to grow up, go to college, have jobs, get careers. He can have a conversation about the fact that he doesn't feel comfortable. Or he goes to his parent and he says, hey, mom, hey, dad, I don't feel super comfortable. Could we talk to coach about it? And as a parent, you don't get in your feelings. You don't act like a petty Betty. You go and you sit down with the coach and have a one-to-one and say, listen, so my son isn't really a believer in God. Here's the deal. If he would like to kind of like walk away and not really participate, that needs to be established. Pause. And then you can't penalize my son for it. And then at the end of the day, you document it. So like if stuff starts to hit the fan and you see that the kid's not getting playtime and all that, then you go through those processes and procedures.
How about a different tack? How about you just don't do it? How about you acknowledge the fact that
it's his First Amendment right? And if he wants to pray on the field and those kids want to join the prayer. No, because
the field is the public high school. He's doing his job as public high school. You know what? Go in the parking lot. Go across the street. Go to your church down the block. Go anywhere and pray. And God bless you for praying. I celebrate your prayer.
So one kid out of like 100.
It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter how many. What if you are that one kid? What if
all those other kids want coach to pray and they do it at the end of the game on the field because that's exactly where they play? So they're blessing and anointing that turf that they play on every week.
They're disadvantaging whatever kids have different beliefs because that other kid who doesn't have their beliefs is not a part of the group. He's not getting the bonding. He's not getting. Yeah.
So what if the coach then says, okay, they have practice one day and they're all talking. He goes, listen, I know I pray. I believe in God. I'm a Christian. Anybody else here participate in any kind of other religious prayer, meditation, religion, whatever that is, bring it to the table and this is a part of my coaching. This is a part of my culture. This is part of who I am as a leader. I'm more than willing to open this up. Right. And everybody like raises their hand and they want to be a part of that. Isn't part of it about accepting people for what they are and who they are if they're different?
So if I entertain a discussion about religion and everybody is encouraged and supported in discussing their religious beliefs, I think that's great. When I go ahead and impose my own beliefs, okay, and I say I'm a Christian, I'm going to do this Christian gathering and Christians should come with me and I'm a public high school coach. No, it's not right. You're describing two totally different scenarios because that Jewish kid or the Buddhist kid or the Muslim kid or the atheist kid, right? Or the satanic kid, the kid who worships Satan. He feels like he's not part of the group. And that's not what government's role is. Government's role is not to exclude Americans. We're not doing that. That's our Constitution. Our First Amendment says free exercise, do not favor religion, period. And those, by the way, when you're talking about the Second Amendment and arms, you're all, well, that's what the Constitution says. You got to follow. Well, here the Constitution is very explicit. Do not establish a religion. Do not interfere with the free exercise of anybody else's religion. Period. That's what the Constitution says.
I hear you, but I guess technically the definition of the Establishment Clause is apparently unclear. You know, I did a little bit of research here and I was reading.
Okay, let's hear about your research. What does it say? What'd you learn?
Let's see.
Are you reading now? Are you researching now?
No, I have it written because I took a lot of notes. I was very copious in my research because I knew you were going to come at me with some stupid shit. And I was like, listen, here's the deal.
Bring it to show me how stupid I am. I think that's what this is all for.
I don't think you're stupid.
That's why all 4 of our fans are listening to this podcast right
now. I think the hard part for me is like, I look at this on such a different level sometimes.
Wait, let's go back to your research. Let's hear about your research and what why the Establishment Clause is vague and ambiguous. Go ahead, read your notes real quick. I'll give you time.
Well, number one, the other thing too is that they said that the conduct must be perceived as coercive. I don't think this was a coercion. Like I don't think they had a gun to their head. I think they wanted to participate in it.
Me being the second string quarterback who's a Jew. And sitting there going, wow, I'm not bonding with my teammates.
You are not the second string quarterback. You can't throw a fucking.
Right. I'm going to be the 5th string quarterback. I'm the 5th string quarterback. I'm the 5th string punter.
Which means they're never playing.
Anyway. Right? I'm the 5th string punter. And I'm like, God damn, man. Look, all my all my teammates over there, the coach, they're all bonding, they're talking, they're feeling strong with each other, they're learning more about each other. I'm over here, eating matzah and, and whatever, waiting for Friday night when I can go to Shabbat services. I mean, there's clearly a reason.
Give me a little more insight to your religion as a Jew. Give me some of like the stuff that goes on at temple. Like, tell me what that means. Like, and you're praying, right? You're praying, you're reading, you guys read the Torah? You read the Torah, correct?
I mean, we read the Old Testament,
Okay, yeah.
It's a little bit older than yours, the First Testament, we like to call it. And sometimes we break out the Torah and read a little piece of that.
My Bible has the Old
Testament.
Look,
we do the exact same thing that you do. Okay. It's just we have a different book. We have a different curriculum.
But him praying is not a religion. That's just prayer. And if you're praying, but you're praying in Hebrew and you're doing a little bit of an older formality, so
what about the atheist kid?
You're still praying to something, whether it's God, the universe, your deity, my deity. It doesn't matter. It's to something bigger than yourself. Wait, so it teaches these kids to step out of their ego and who they are and be grateful and pray to something bigger than them. And that's really what we should be focused on. Is it doesn't matter if it's God, it doesn't matter if it's whoever. It's just these kids have lost their way. And I
am pro prayer.
Right.
Away from the government. On your own. In your church, in your temple, in your mosque, in your home, but not in the public school.
I feel like that's where it needs to be the most. These kids are lost as fuck, dude. Listen, they're lost. They're too busy on Snapchat. They're bullying each other through social media and private channels. They're worried about they're so self-conscious, far more than we ever were at that age. Okay.
Right.
So and listen, they have way too much anxiety. They're pressured into being these superheroes of teenagers at such a young age. And I look at that and I go, you know what? That could be the one glimmer of like peace and hope that they have in their day. So and maybe that's the one saving grace that saves some kid from making a really bad life choice. So if there's an atheist kid on that team, maybe it would wake him up a little bit. He doesn't have to believe in God, but he sure as hell needs to believe in something because believing in darkness doesn't solve a problem.
Okay, well, you don't know what's going to solve the problem for that particular kid. A big part of being a teenager is feeling left out. I mean, a lot of problems come when you don't feel like you're part of the crowd. I mean, kids are desperate to be included. So when a Jewish kid, or it's like they've been Jew because I don't care about the Judaism piece of it. When a Buddhist kid or an atheist kid, when an atheist kid looks at all of his teammates in a big crowd looking like they're really bonding and having a great friendship ritual, and he's not part of it, you're contributing to his feelings of loneliness and depression and being left out. You're not helping him, you're hurting him. So yeah, maybe the Christian kids, they're having a great time, but you know what? We're not all Christian kids. And so why are you favoring the Christian kids?
As a parent, if your kid is atheist, why is your kid atheist? Why does he not believe in anything?
Why do you care? Who are you to judge that person?
It's not judging. It's that I actually genuinely care about.
Very judgmental.
No, I very much so care about that person, meaning what else is going on inside that they're lost and have nothing bigger to believe in outside of themselves. That
who knows what they believe in? And it's not your place to tell them what to believe. Okay. It's not your place to show them really. In school, now in church, it's great. You know what? Go to that parent and say, "Hey, I want you."
It's not even about God. This isn't even about God. Like, okay, so you don't believe in God, but do you believe in something?
Bring him to your travel team. Bring him anywhere. Just don't bring him to school because the kid has to go to school. There's a compulsory aspect of school. You're requiring that kid to be there. So if you're requiring him to be here and you're also excluding him at the same time, isn't that the problem?
No.
Okay.
I think there's.
Okay, what's the problem?
Because you know what? Listen, Jesus? I feel like this country has gone so far away from. We don't even know what we are anymore. Like, I was watching this video. Oh my
I know God, we're not Christian.
And I wish that when we maybe we can do it like in edit or something like that. This TikTok video about this girl. She was like, so your side, and I wish I could like literally reiterate exactly what she said, but she's like, so we're pro-choice, but we can't choose to not get the vaccine because it's mandated, but we can't mandate that. And she goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, holy confusion. Like, no wonder why no one knows their ass from a hole in the ground anymore, because we're all over the place and there's so much division and everyone's so angry everyone's unpacking their crap and they're projecting and the world is so angry and everyone's miserable all the damn time. And I'm like, nobody has God in their life. They don't have faith. They don't have anything bigger than themselves. A lot of people have God in their life.
A lot of people have God in their life. A lot of people have a different God than you. A lot of
that's
people
fine.
are very happy
I don't care who your God is.
No, that's great. So you know what?
I don't care who your God is.
So don't make the third string quarterback come and talk about Jesus. Don't put him in a position where he has to make a decision whether he wants to be with his teammates or not.
So I want to know. This is what I want to know.
Yes.
I want to know if the family of that kid, before they went postal and went all rage-tacular on the news and then drew this lawsuit out and all this crazy crap, because they pretty much incited that. What conversations did they have with the coach? What conversations really went on behind closed doors?
It has nothing to do.
Absolutely. It has everything to do with that. If you're coming at if my kid feels uncomfortable, it is my job as a parent to protect him. It's no one else's job to protect my kid.
No, I'm saying you're missing the point because it's not about the discussion with the coach.
It is because, yes, it is. Because had they sat down with that coach and brought these points to the table and said, hey, listen, my son doesn't believe in the God you believe in. He feels alienated.
Do you know what the case was? Do you know what the case was? You don't know what it was. The Board of Education talked to this guy many, many, many times and said, stop what you're doing. We don't believe in what you're doing. You need to stop. He refused to stop. Finally, the Board of Education fired him. That's what it was. It was the coach bringing the case. But it started
with a parent complaining.
Yeah, of course, because you know what? If I was in that school, I would complain too. I'd say, you know what, coach? I love the fact that you believe in Jesus and have these faith and belief. Take it to your church and invite the entire team there every Sunday. Pray your ass off. I think it's great. Don't do it at school. Don't do it where my Jewish kid feels left out and he has to walk away.
Do you believe in the power of prayer? Do you believe that miracles can happen? Do you believe that you can pray away bad things? Do you believe that you can pray positive things into your life?
No.
Okay. I do, because I've seen it happen many, many, many times in my life. You've known me for a really long time. And you've known all of the amazing things that have happened in my life.
22 minutes too long.
Despite all the adversity that's been thrown at me the last 10 years. And you know that. So you know me on a spiritual level.
No,
and so
what's for you? I'm happy for you.
Well, wait, pause. So I'm kind of just landing the plane here if you'd shut up for 5 seconds. My point is, maybe that coach on a deeper spiritual level, despite the state, separation, whatever, maybe there's a bigger calling in his life, right? That you can't really explain and you maybe don't want to understand and see. And maybe the reason why he didn't stop is because he just knew he wasn't supposed to. Like when you're really connected to God and you're a prayer warrior, you hear him or whoever your God is. Like a terrorist hears their God. I mean, if you want to like go toe to toe on that. But my point is, maybe you just really felt.
How would you feel? How would you feel if
let me finish? And you can.
I mean, it takes so long to get there. My God.
I know. It's called patience. I'm making you wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
You need to drink when we do this show.
That's actually a good idea.
It is. I think you need to calm down. I think you need to loosen your sphincter a lot.
Yeah.
My point is, maybe he felt called to do it, and maybe like most Christians, when they feel conviction, like on a spiritual level, not like rebellion and a middle finger, I'm not going to listen to you. It's more conviction because their spirit, the Holy Spirit says, I'm convicting you to continue to do this. There's someone on this team that needs this. You're doing something for a bigger cause. They will throw themselves on the sword and say, oh, well, cool. And that is, if you're not a true believer and you really don't have that conviction and that Holy Spirit in you, you can't understand it. And that's cool.
What if the third string quarterback believes in Santeria and he wants to slaughter a chicken after each game at the 50-yard line because that's what his religion tells him to do?
How would you feel about that? And I could cast a spell too. You know what I'm saying?
How would you feel about that? He's slaughtering a chicken after every game. It's part of his religious belief. His parents have been doing it for decades, and that's what he does. And
so Santeria is not really a religion; it's witchcraft, which is a little.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
No,
they believe it's a religion.
Well, it's really witchcraft, and we all know that.
I don't know. We're not going to get a definition of what religion is. He believes it's religion. He believes he should slaughter a chicken. He's asking your Christian kid, "Hey, Bo, come over here. Hold the knife. We're going to kill this chicken right now." But it's
I don't think that's a strong comparison.
I'm called.
That's not a strong comparison.
Are you kidding me? That's another religion. That's another religion.
He's not practicing religion. He's practicing prayer. Prayer goes across the board. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to. You pray. We pray. Hindus pray. Muslims pray. They meditate.
What's wrong with that?
Prayer is prayer.
Let's say in his county, he's allowed to slaughter chickens if he has certain like things. So he's not violating any laws. It's his religious belief.
Well,
and it's to say, Bo, come over here.
That's probably going to go against some serious guidelines. Like he's bringing a weapon to the field. I'm pretty sure that's a stipulation.
Let's assume the hypothetical is he's not violating any laws. He's allowed to have a knife that's less than 3 inches long if it's not concealed. And he's following the law and he's killing the chicken. He asked your son to come over and kill the chick with him because he feels called to do it.
I just don't think that that's a strong comparison.
Well, okay. So let's assume it's not. It's a terrible comparison. Would you let Bo go do it?
Well, are we gonna?
Bo says I want to do it.
Are we frying the chicken after for dinner?
Yeah, totally. We're gonna have chicken and waffles. It's gonna be fantastic.
Sweet.
Well, would you say it's okay? Is it okay?
Are we leaving blood all over the field? Who's cleaning it up?
No, we got a big tarp there. We're very hygienic and very clean and healthy. Yes, we're wearing gloves.
Slaughtering a chicken on the 50-yard line is super hygienic. We put on gloves.
Yeah, no, we have gloves and a mask. Yeah, we got eye goggles.
Awesome, throwing a little bleach down later, wrapping it up.
Totally, everything's
chucking it
great.
In the toxic waste.
We're going to take all the parts and give them to the school mascot dog when we're done. Would you allow your son to go and participate in that religious ritual?
That is not a religious ritual. Give me another one. Give me Hindu. Give me Muslim.
No, ritual. Would you let him
go? It's witchcraft. That's completely different.
Would you let your son go participate in the witchcraft? Because that kid who practices it feels a calling. He feels like it's bringing him to a bigger purpose.
That's not a calling, and you know it. Give me a better.
So once again, you're deciding what morality is. Once again, you're deciding what religion is.
You're slaughtering a chicken or praying over people and saying thank you and showing gratitude. Which one has a positive vibration and which one has a lower vibration?
For that kid, that
which one brings death and which one brings life?
Okay, well, he believes that the chicken's going to live in the next life. It's actually a good thing for the chicken. The point is you're legislating morality like you always do. You're deciding what's right and what's wrong, and I'm saying that's wrong.
Well, I'm always going to go with the side of God. I'm always going to go with the Bible, and I'm always going to go with what feels good.
And I think you should in the appropriate place, which is not in our schools, not in our government.
Well, apparently the government seems to think that there probably needs to be prayers in schools because
Justice Gorsuch does. No, you guys got 6 people on the Supreme Court who are going to turn us into a Taliban state for sure.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. The thing is, we won't be wielding guns and blowing people up with RPGs, so at least we got that going for us.
Oh, you think so? You don't think when it's all about religion and religion is the only thing that matters in the public forum, people aren't going to feel compelled to go ahead and take up arms for their God? We've been doing it for 2,000 years. Religion has caused 90% of the wars in the world. You don't think
holy wars? I'm very familiar with holy wars. Yes.
So you don't think a state based on religion isn't going to get into more wars as they try and export their beliefs and faith to the rest of the world? You think we're going to be safer with religion?
I do, but I believe in Jesus. I believe in God, and I read the Bible. So yeah, okay. I believe in that. I do. Okay. I know you call me crazy, but I do.
So should public high schools, should they start with a prayer? What's the prayer, the daily prayer you Christians do? Is there some daily prayer?
No.
Okay. So let's say the principal of a public high school wants to do a daily prayer to Jesus every morning. He's going to broadcast it over the school loudspeakers. Is that a good idea?
I mean, I don't hate it.
So you do it.
Well, my kids do it every day in school. We do it every day in our house.
Public school.
There was a time when I don't remember because I'm old as shit now, but I feel like at some point in my elementary school days that they did do that sometimes or all the time. And it's so crazy.
About Jesus?
Or they just prayed or something. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to call some of my friends on this one because I'm like, it just sounds like something that maybe happened.
Okay, so would you be in favor of that today? Would you be in favor of that today?
Absolutely. With his degenerate as this generation is, and we've created half of that, they have lost their way. They are so dark. They don't believe in anything anymore.
Jesus. So the Jewish kids need Jesus.
They need
the Muslim kids need Jesus.
They need something. They need something better and bigger than themselves. They need to understand spirituality. They need to understand how to be grateful.
It's
and
okay.
They need to clear the darkness from their soul. Absolutely. Whatever that looks like. Maybe if we're being, multi-religional about it, and I just totally made that up, there's a dedication to learning other types of religions and other types of prayer and meditation. You want to make it equitable and fair. You want to really go back to what the school.
The atheist kids have to get into religion too. Doesn't matter what they believe, what they want to believe.
Or they're just learning. They're learning. This is like social sciences. Technically, when you think about it, they're learning about other cultures.
You're talking about bringing Jesus as a compulsion, as something they're going to do every day, a compulsory activity.
Okay, so I got one for you. So, and this is going to
we only have 5 seconds left.
I know. So like we do the whole like Pride Month and all these other dedicated months, and
not in government, not in public schools, we don't. But go ahead. Not in public schools. Absolutely
sure about that? Are you sure about that?
They're not supposed to. If they are, they shouldn't be.
Really? Because it looks like everybody's just staying in their lane these days and following rules, friend.
Well,
I'm just saying.
We have rules that are supposed to be followed. I mean, some people are going to break them. Some people are always going to break the rules.
Now the rules have changed. The rules have changed. So now what do we do?
Have they? Oh no, you're right. Your Supreme Court has changed it. All right, we're done. It's been a very productive 30 minutes. As always. Hey, I'll talk to you in 2 weeks, or maybe less. People, the 4 or 5 people who are watching our thing want us to do it more than every 2 weeks. So maybe we'll do it more, or maybe not.
God, you're really needy. Did have anyone ever told you that before?
That is so true. You have
I know. I call you needy all the time. I'm like, you're so needy, and I'm like the least needy person.
Okay. All right, we're done. You're the best. Love you. Lots. Tons.
Love you, a long time trucker. Listen.
Yes. Way over time now. A ridiculous amount. People are like screaming, punching the screen right now.
I do this on purpose just to really, really tick you off, right?
Doesn't bother me.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much. And
assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, trucker.
Alaikum salam. Adios.